This is a course that Peter Buck and I are currently teaching, so we're in the middle of it. Let me get this going there. So we are right in the middle of this. It's something that we thought about last spring, and I had this upper level course that I didn't really have a topic for yet. I was thinking about film music, and I was like, well, we should do this. And I asked Peter, and he said, sure. So it's a wonderful partnership that we have together. Peter, knowing all the sustainability issues, then bringing music, and Peter has a musical background as well. So that's just an amazing collaboration that I've experienced here. Uh, so the basic course objective is to foster a creative relationship between students' personal experience of nature experiences and their understanding of climate change research. So I'm going from a sense of feeling, emotions, tactile, experiencing it with our bodies, to then how that then reflects on the science of climate change, and then resulting in a musical composition. Uh, so uh, the personal experience, uh, so this is from the syllabus, is for you to experience nature with your senses, mind, and emotions, and to learn from nature what it had to teach. Uh, we begin this course not in the ivory tower academia, but fully immersed in nature, for it's only through a direct and personal engagement in nature that we can form a deliberate and sustained response to climate change. So very much a biophilia type approach that Emily Burns in her one exhibit uh, was the topic of. So as part of engaging them in nature, we had two things we are going to do. One was, and we were able to do this one, weekly chronicle of a place in nature, where they go out and they choose a place that they're going to visit every week during the course of the semester up through the last 2 weeks when we go fully remote and they can leave, but some of them will be in town. So a lot of them have chosen their backyard. A lot of are in different parks around the area, the arboretum, the forest behind the arboretum. One person, uh, she chose this vacant lot that had the remains of some structure on it. So she gets this wonderful thing between sort of the reclamation of nature upon human construction. And she talks about that in her chronicle. But it's a writing course. They're doing 500 words a week on this. And then field experiences. And so this is something that got canceled due to COVID. We wanted them to go out and the Scotia Game Lands and to look at a extraction site and see the ruins of the iron processing plant there. To see, old growth forest, the Allen Seeger, the Arboretum, or hear the buzzing of the bees, thousands of bees at an apiary, to have those physical experiences. Uh, but we're planning on teaching this course every 2 years. So next time we teach it, we'll be able to do those things, hopefully. Uh, this was a really exciting part of the course, and it still is. We have one more to go. Climate change research. So we identified, and this was Peter, all his connections, 4 different areas of research: entomology, forest ecology, water resources extraction, and then we had these wonderful researchers, teachers, people come and take over a Zoom class, and we had readings beforehand, and they went through and talked about the research, how to understand the research, what it had, implications it has for our future. And the idea is that students, throughout this, students are asking what's their issue going to be with their composition. So we're introducing all these various uh, research positions. So they'll sort of latch on at some point. Uh, and then, oops, uh, part of the course is looking at how other people musically responded to climate change. And there's a wide range of approaches from something that's akin to sonification, music inspired by climate change data, rendering that data musically uh, into pieces, concert and popular music that thematicizes issues of climate change. And this could also look at the productions of those concerts and albums and what kind of footprint they leave. recent music inspired by landscape, environmental sound sources, indigenous music threatened by globalizations, and then music that underscores documentaries and films. And this becomes another issue later on in the course. So looking at these broad musical approaches, and then for them, maybe I can use that type of approach in my piece, or just having this as a way for them to get more information for their own piece. And so films and documentaries looking how music can serve to manipulate us, our feelings, our attitudes, our beliefs subconsciously, and be another narrative voice within its multimedia works. So a range of films from the Blaulicht, this is an Alpine film, very beautiful cinematography, to Bambi, Merchants of Doubt, a documentary which we already watched. We found some interesting things in there where this is about using magic or the idea of magic, or the metaphor of magic, to convince people that what they're looking at isn't so dangerous. So the music of this we found was very circus-like, but underneath the surface with this circus carnivalesque music, there was a sinister progression that was concealed. And this is that's from the Darth Vader progression, which actually has a long history that the composer of this documentary knew about being used to portray evil or sorcery or other types of those types of things. So we thought that was a pretty ingenious way of embedding the progression with those associations into the music. And the capstone is composition, informed by data, reflection, and personal relationship with a given place. And we're casting a wide net on this. They're going to have to submit a proposal next week, I think, and then we'll be working on them throughout the semester on that, and resulting in a score, a recording, and a 5-page paper. And we're working on trying to find some sort of virtual place, creating it or finding it for these works to be performed at the end of this semester, and maybe perhaps into the next semester. So that's to be determined. So thank you. And Peter, if Peter has anything to add, he's just indispensable in this, and I owe so much to him.
It's a lot of fun. It's also a lot of it's a very different kind of class than anything that I've taught and Eric has taught. So there's a fair amount of figuring out on the fly.
So yeah, many of you may well know that Penn State could be the world premiere spot, or one of the very early premiere spots, for the opera Marvelous Order. And the Center for Performing Arts and the college has been in touch with the production and creative team for Marvelous Order. And in the spring, at the end of March, and I think it's the 30th, that's right? 30th and 31st, is that right, Miyun? 29th through, it's like the 29th, 30th, 31st.
Yeah.
Judd, the composer, he will be here. And so we're gonna be organizing a way for you all to be engaging with that team. And the Marvelous Order, in case you don't know, is an opera about the conflict between Jane Jacobs, who was a community activist in New York City, and Robert Moses, who was the city planner and quite possibly the most powerful man in New York for decades. And so things that we think about, like redlining, he was the kind of the power play at the local level. And it is an incredibly creative score, and has animation and dance, and it is as Wagner would have called it, is a Gesamtkunstwerk. It is a complete artwork. So you will all have, I think, the opportunity to engage with something just truly incredible if we're able to get it done the way that we hope. But there's everything, like everything has the caveat on it called COVID. So we'll see what actually happens.
Yeah, we'll see. Please stay tuned.